many more seniors and juniors playing. We got a couple of sophomores here on Chaska
Right.
out of the field tonight.
Well, for the Chaska Hawks, they come into the game 3-3. A couple big games early in the season. Coach Craig Bauman alluded to it when we talked to him earlier that the Chaska team had one of the toughest strength of schedules early on. They play Minnetonka, they go to they play Eden Prairie, Benilde, St. Margaret's, and then Lakeville North. 4 extremely tough games to start off the season for this team.
Tough games, and they really do want to excel against this Chanhassen squad. They really do want to keep that momentum going. And this is not a conference game, even though this is a conference team. One of the things that I learned in our conversation with Coach Bauman before the game is that the first game that you play against an opponent is not a conference game. So this is a non-conference matchup tonight.
And I heard that we were struggling with losing some audio early in the broadcast. I just want to reiterate, I'm Ryan Paul. This is Greg Erickson here live on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network from Athletic Park. We've gone over a couple of the key bits here before we get going on the national anthem. But Chanhassen comes into the game 3-3 overall off a big victory last week, 11-4 over Richfield. Chaska comes in 2-2, a big victory on Saturday over Lakeville, 9-2. Starting pitchers for Chanhassen is Jack Garrison, the senior right-hander. 0-1 overall record with an 8.4 ERA. Chaska's Jack Archer, the senior left-hander, comes into the game with a no decision record on the season. His second starting gig of the night here, and it'll be his third appearance as he relieved against Eden Prairie. Greg, as the national anthem plays, you got any final thoughts before we get going?
Well, I do. I think both coaches reiterated that it is early in the season, especially with all of the weather delays that we've had to get to the start of the season, and both coaches are really kind of doing a feeling out process here. This is just a chance for them to see what they got. It's a chance for them to pit themselves against conference foes. It's a chance to see where they're at and where their players are in comparison to the other teams. But I do think that the game against Lakefield North was very telling for Chaska, that they've got a very good squad.
Well, we'll be right back after the national anthem and starting lineup, so go and get underway here from Athletic Park. Ryan Paul, Greg Erickson, hope you'll join us for first pitch here coming up momentarily on the Lenz and Chevrolet Buick Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Athletic Park for tonight's matchup. It is a beautiful evening. We've got the lights on, but plenty of sunshine, and I think temperatures were approaching 80 degrees here this afternoon. As Ryan alluded to earlier in the broadcast, it is Strikeout Cancer, Strikeout Diabetes night. We have some various cancer survivors who are throwing out tonight's first pitch. This is a good fundraising opportunity for both ball clubs, the community, to raise funds for the awareness. So we're getting ready for the ceremonial first pitch.
And Greg down there, that is Chaska assistant coach Scott Gerber with the microphone. He is also the Excelsior Fire Department chief.
That's right.
Chief of the fire department there.
I
So
believe he's also on the Chaska Volunteer
yes,
Fire Department
I believe
as
that
well.
is true. A very well-rounded and good guy is Coach Gerber, well respected around the community. So
I was speaking with a couple of the dads at the last game, and they said he's not necessarily a baseball guy, but he is a guy's guy.
he's a guy's guy for sure. He's a mental coach. Indeed, he's a supporter through no matter what. I've been blessed to have him as my coach for a couple of years here in the past. So, Coach Gerber, great guy down there. He loves doing this annual celebration and recognition of these diseases. So, and the survivors. So, before we get underway here, we are obligated to show this to the crowd and.
Lots of fans down there.
Fan favorite, yeah. The Chaska and Chanhassen crowds are out in full force here tonight. We'll get you a look at them here real quick as the ceremonial first pitch is thrown out. Here's a look at the crowds down here at Athletic Park. Beautiful April evening here.
Last day in April.
Last day of April is right.
The Chan student section announced a beach out, but I think there's 4 people here with beach attire on.
There you get a look. It's Chanhassen faithful. Chaska is probably doubling them up at least, or at least tripling them up, I'd say, at this point.
It's a good turnout.
Chaska has some great, this year I've noticed they've had some wonderful student turnouts at a lot of their sporting events, the basketball games, the hockey games. Gotta love to see the crowds coming out to support.
Absolutely. And I saw you leading some of the crowds. Some of those.
Yeah, whenever we don't have a game going on.
There you go.
Fun thing to do.
We ought to be getting away with first pitch in just a few minutes.
Scheduled first pitch of this game is at 7:10. After all the festivities go take place. And Matthew Dixie, Cam Larson, and Riley Swenson, the catchers out there.
She's a lefty. I'm not sure if she knew which hand to throw with. But they did a great job.
Always love to see those kind of moments here at the ballpark. A great community experiences is for anybody who attends a game down here in Athletic. If you haven't been down here, I'd encourage you to come down and make it a night with the family. It's whether it be a Chaska Hawks high school game, a Cubs game. It's a great time down here, and we get ready for first pitch here on the London
Absolutely, and it's nice to have the concession stand open tonight. They're making hamburgers. They wanted me to sample one before the game so I could talk about how great those are.
I also sampled one. Was not invited, as you were.
Well, you got to have the connection.
Yeah. So we're about ready to get underway here between Chaska and Chanhassen. Greg will have the play-by-play this evening. I'll be on the color commentary. And we're ready for baseball here.
John Mosberg is the umpire behind home plate.
Wonderful evening here at Athletic Park.
Chanhassen is going to start the game with, leading off for them will be Carter Cruz. He's a senior center fielder, number 6. Batting second is TJ Trusso. He's the senior shortstop. And batting third is the junior right fielder, Cade Plath. And the Chaska Hawks take the field. Jack Archer is starting pitching tonight. The southpaw takes the bump.
Yeah, Archer on the left-hander started in that season opener in Minnetonka. Did not allow a run in his 3 innings of work, and then he relieved in against Eden Prairie just last week. It was a fun time for him, for the left-hander, to see some action out on the hill.
Riley Swenson is his battery mate.
Yep.
We've got Justin Bach over at first, Nick Olmscheid at second, Logan Van Zant playing short, Mac Bourne playing third, the senior Benji Hidalgo in the left, Joe Jersax in center, and Marcus Peters in right. This is the lineup that Coach Bauman has gone with for most of the season. So far.
Fifth game of the year for Chaska, sitting at 2-2 on the season. He's mixed up the order a little bit. He's worked around Jersak and Hidalgo around that leadoff spot.
That's right.
He's found a good mix in that for tonight. I believe he mentioned in our pregame conversation though that he's really just trying to find the right way to get these guys working together. There's not a lot of experience on this varsity roster. Probably the most experienced got to be Benji Hidalgo out there in right or left field, excuse me. But other than that, you lost a lot of seniors last year,
and especially in the pitching department
right,
as well.
The staff very inexperienced. Archer, probably Chaska's top guy this year. They've also got senior Andrew Fix out there as well, available for him. But Chaska's experience, they're trying to make up for it in their effort, as I know the coaching staff really works at the mental part of this game on the Chaska side of the bench. They just really work at getting their heads right mentally, or their minds right mentally before the game.
He's actually very pleased with the offensive and defensive production his team has had. So, and they're really glad about the production in practices. Practices have been very good for them here so far early this year, especially in our new dome.
Yes, sir. They took advantage of that Eastern Carver County Athletic Center over by the middle schools.
All right, so Cruzy steps in. He's the senior center fielder. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Archer looks in. Gets the sign from Swenson. Comes set. It's outside. 1-1 is the count.
This Chaska staff, season long, they're going to really focus on command. They're not going to blow you away with velocity, but command is going to be that Chaska's key moment pitching-wise this year.
Swung on, fouled off. 1-2 the count. Cruzy is batting .222 in the season so far. That pitch is low.
That looked good. Just found its way into the dirt. I think that Swenson might have dropped his glove on that one.
2-2 the count. Again, behind the plate, umpire is John Mossberg. Out in the field is Hank Henches. Swung on, it's hit the shortstop, throws him out. That's TJ Trusso.
Van Zant. Chaska out at short there. Van Zant scooped it up with a backhand. Nice throw over to first base. Justin Bach was able to dig it out there and
dug it out over there with his goalie skills over there at first.
Cruz took a spill after he crossed the base. So here's Trusso now hitting for Chan.
That's right. TJ Trusso is now up. The senior shortstop. Bats right-handed. That's outside.
Archer's got some good zip on that fastball tonight so far. At least
looks like he's got good command. 1-0 the count. One down. We're just getting underway here at Athletic Park. That was low. 20. 2-0.
Archer working, trying to keep his pitch count down. As we know, MSHSL imposed those new pitch count rules last year.
What are we at, about 105, I think? There was a debate in the stands during the Lakeville game. That was called a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That's a good spot from Archer. The Chanhassen fans aren't going to like it, but it's a good spot, and it's a good place to be if you're a pitcher from the left side. Another one.
Swung on. It's hit to Van Zant. Fields it cleanly over to Bach. That's out number 2. The Hawks throw it around. That's 2 ground balls. Right to Van Zant. All right, now digging in is Cade Plath, junior right fielder, number 23.
Yeah, Plath on the season, tied for first on the team in hits. He's got 8 on the year.
Batting .500.
Another good spot.
That pitch is called a strike.
From Archer. He's working on the outside corner there. 2 away.
Just clipping the outside corner. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on, it's to right field. And Peters lets it drop in front for the first base hit of the game. Cade Plath.
So Plath's on here with 2 away. Archer lets a little blooper drop in there to right field. Peters wasn't able to catch up to it.
The senior first baseman Jake Maas is now stepping in. Plath taking a modest lead at first with the left-handed pitcher on the mound. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Archer delivers. It's way outside. 1 ball, no strike.
Yeah, Maas was down in Atlanta last weekend for the DECA. It's an international business competition. He won nationals.
Did he?
With his DECA group.
Well, congratulations to this young man.
We had him on the CHBN pregame show to talk about that project earlier in the season at the Chanhassen basketball game, and it's great to see him out here competing in baseball. You know, you love to see kids like that who are well-rounded. Obviously, he's a great person in the DECA world, and now he comes out here and playing baseball on a Monday night here for Chanhassen.
1-1 count to Maas. That's outside. It's throw down to first.
Looked like they might have got him, but I think
close.
Plath jumped just over the tag. Swenson with a bullet down there to Bach at first base.
A.J. Pedersen told me this morning that Maas is one of 2 guys on this current roster that were on the state championship team. He certainly was in the section roster. I'm not sure whether or not he was on the state championship team. Throw over to first. Check the runner, Plath. Back safely. Maas, the first baseman. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the first. It's twilight here at Athletic Park. Archers. It's a swung on. It's a pop fly to center field. Joe Jersak measures it, takes it in. That's 3 outs. So after the first half of the first inning, no runs, 1 hit, no error, and 1 left on base. All right, leading off for the Hawks. Senior center fielder is Joe Jersak.
Jersak had a go-ahead and eventual game-winning home run just the other night.
Right here at Athletic Park.
You got it.
What field did it go to?
Well, just over to left field. Got out of here in a hurry.
Ball was inside, 1-0. Senior Garrison on the mound for A.J. Pedersen. And the Chanhassen Storm swung on and missed. 1-1 is the count.
That's one thing Jersak likes to do, is go up there and take some big hacks at the ball. And if he puts the bat on the ball, and it's going to go a long way, and he knows that.
The 1-1 pitch. Curveball swung on. It's up the middle. Shortstop Trousseau gets it. Oh, he pulled his foot over at first. Thought for sure that was going to be an out. That was
why you run out.
Jake Maas over at first base. That is why you run them out, kids. That's the one thing in coaching. It drives me more nuts than anything else is when kids aren't hustling, busting it down to first base.
Give him a hit.
That's the philosophy here of Chaska Hawk baseball. All right, Benji Hidalgo, senior left fielder, digs in. First pitch is called a strike. Jersak is not taking a gigantic lead over there. I think one of the things that I've been seeing in some of these games here this year for Chaska is that these guys really do concentrate on the secondary lead, and he's stealing the base. And I do attribute that to the secondary lead that these guys take.
You saw him time it up really well. He got on once Garrison lifted his leg. You saw he was gone.
Yeah, he stole that one on the pitcher. There is no doubt about that. Tommy Highland had a nice throw down to second, but not in time. So Benji with an 0-2 count. He's got a man on second base. Benji hits it to second base. Avery Larson fields it cleanly. He was pulled off there too, but was able to tag Benji for the out. But that did advance the runner, Joe Jersak.
That's what Chaska is going to focus on, is when Benji comes back to the dugout, they're all going to pick him up. That's what you got to do, is do your job.
You bet. They're going to give him some high fives there.
That's one thing that Chaska focuses on. I
feel like Benji's been playing for this Hawk team for like 6 years.
You're not the only one. Back when these two teams played in that section game a couple of years ago, with the whole controversy we all know about, Hidalgo was up to bat at the time of that final play that we know.
Riley Swenson stepping in now. First pitch is called a strike right over the middle.
Garrison likes to throw that slider, but you'll also notice that his fastball has tremendous tail on it. Pick up the speed, and it almost looks like a slider out of the hand.
That pitch was also called a strikeout too. Yeah, A.J. Pedersen told me he's a crafty right-hander. Usually that's a term you'd use with a left-handed pitcher, but now the infield is going to be coming in with the 0-2 count. Swung on, fouled back. Count remains 0-2.
Swenson also a varsity starter or a varsity player for a couple of years now. They obviously have had Luke Ross come back behind the dish for his fair share of years, but now Swenson, the Minnesota Golden Gopher baseball commit, getting his chance.
That pitch tailed onto the inside, almost hit Swenson. 1-2 the count. One down here in the bottom of the first. The Hawks have got Joe Jersak on third. The 1-2 pitch to Swenson, fouls it off. Stays alive.
Swenson actually a switch hitter, primarily hits from the right side, but also can also go from the left side when needed. One of the better hitters on this Chaska team. Can do it from both ways.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play down the right field side.
He got a lot of that baseball, just couldn't put it in between the lines. But if that one was straightened out, I think that one would have gone a ways.
One down here in the bottom of the first, the 1-2 pitch.
Staying
fouled
alive.
back. He's had about 4 or 5 straight foul balls here now. So extending his at bat. Beautiful night here at Athletic Park. The wind is blowing right to left. It's calmed down quite a bit. We had some pretty good gusts here earlier in the day. Garrison with the 1-2 delivery. Swung on and foul tip again.
Riley Swenson really working that count up. You like to see it when he's down on the count. Garrison dialing him in there. Swenson will eventually get a hold of one.
Garrison looked a little exasperated. This must be the 6th foul ball in a row here now.
Still
the
1-2.
infield's drawn in. They're trying to prevent the run. They'll come home with it. That ball was in the dirt. 2-2 the count.
There's that slider that A.J. Pedersen alluded to earlier when we were talking to him.
Yeah, that really bit.
A bit late, too. tough to see out of the hand, and it comes right down on you.
Swenson did a good job of laying off that pitch. That's definitely a strikeout pitch, the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. Almost up here in the booth.
Yeah. Get your glove ready.
Dan Gladden is in here. So. Well, I think that's about 8 or 9 foul balls by Swenson. One thing I wanted to say, Ryan, is that as Highlander goes out to talk to Garrison, one thing I wanted to say, Chaska doesn't update their information on the Minnesota Baseball Hub, so we don't really have any stats for any of these guys. We're not able to
well, I think
relay those to you. I know that they keep track on Game Changer.
Between the two of us, we've been to, I think, all of their games, so we should be able to give you good insight here. I think I've been all but one of their games. So,
all right, Swenson digs back in for the 2-2. Fouls off another one.
I think that's something Highland wanted to do when he went out and talked to Garrison, is really calm him down, get him composed. Again, he's thrown probably 10, 11 pitches just at bat.
This is a long at bat. And again, with the pitch counts, the way that they keep track, it makes a difference. One down, the 2-2 pitch. Inside, fouled off again. It's a possibility that Garrison might not be able to pitch into the second inning. Bottom of the first, both teams have one hit, one out. 2-2 the count.
Jersak still on third.
And he got him. That was the slider. He's a little bit more up in the zone this time. Garrison shaking his head that took way too many pitches to achieve that strikeout. So that's 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
Tough end to a good at-bat for Riley Swenson, you know.
I think he did his job, though.
Chris Johnson, one of the hottest hitters of this Chaska lineup all year, will step in to try to drive home Jersak.
Designated hitter, senior Chris Johnson. That almost hit him. Appealed. Highland appealed to the field ump. Did not go. 1-0 is the count. 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
Johnson went 2 for 2 in that season opener against Minnetonka, then took an intentional walk.
Swung on and foul tip. Oops.
One here.
That pitch was outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 down, the infield is in standard depth. The outfielders are playing a little bit shallow. The wind has definitely calmed down. The flag is more limp. That was called a ball. 31. Another appeal on the check swing.
Another one. I don't see how you can appeal to the second base umpire. He's just got just as good of a look as the home plate umpire does.
That's correct. Well, that's the positioning that the umpire takes when there's a man on third. Oh, he
going to score Jersak, though. Jersak, they had it. Oh, no, 2 outs.
Yep, Garrison.
I'm sorry. I still had 1 out in my book.
Garrison making the play.
I still had 1 out in my book.
That's the 3rd out.
After 1 complete, 1 hit across the board for each team. No runs, though. We'll be right back.
Carson Hake is stepping in for the Storm, the junior third baseman.
Yeah, Carson Hake, I played against him in my day out on the diamond. I say that as if I'm 45 years old. Good ball player, good guy. Looks at a good pitch there from Archer, though.
So far, that was a pretty good, pretty long half inning. Archer was able to take some time in the dugout before coming back out. And swung on. Carson Hake raked that one out to left field. Hidalgo fields it cleanly, gets it back in. That's a single for Carson. So now the catcher, senior Tommy Highland, steps in, getting signs from his third base coach.
Highland, a good hitter in his own right. Got a lot of power in that stance.
He's got an open stance.
Big body out there behind the plate for Chan.
Hake's got a very small lead over at first. Again, the left-handed pitcher. First pitch at the at-bat is called a ball outside. 1-0. Double play depth for the Hawks on the infield. Archer the delivery, swung on, fouled it down the right-hand side. That's out of play.
Yeah, those two middle infielders out there for Chaska, Nick Olmscheid at second base and Logan Van Sant at shortstop. Very, very good chemistry between those two. They played last year in their summer ball team, last year on the JV team, and a little bit of varsity action for both of them last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Archer with the delivery. Curveball outside.
That's one thing that Archer is really going to have to focus on as we move along here, about not only in this game but also this season, is working that command. He tends to fall off that left-handed release a little bit. He's done that not only this year but historically. Still a very, very good pitcher, but command and going to be one of the main focal points for him.
The 2-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, and that's a base hit through the left side. That advances Hake to second. Now Avery Larson steps in, the junior second baseman. The Chan faithful are happy about that one. 2 base hits in a row and outrunning a courtesy runner for the Storm.
Wyatt Rudolph going to run out there at first base for Chanhassen.
He's a junior. Swenson is directing traffic here. No outs. Runners on first and second. The junior stands back in the box, his foot on the back line. Archer with the delivery. That's outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Chanhassen on the year, getting outscored by opponents 34-30. Trying to hold teams to as little runs as possible as their pitching staff works to keep runners off the base paths, because once you get once, as we've seen here, 2 lace shots to left field, hitting is contagious in this game.
Swung on, and that's a fly ball to center field. Jersak's under it, catches it, and then no chance for the runners to advance. So it's 1 out. We're in the top of the second. Colton Shrimp, the designated hitter. I was kind of surprised to see their designated hitter batting 8th in the lineup.
Yeah, high school baseball a little bit different than higher level as far as lineups go. Often see pitchers hitting relatively high.
Shrimp, the left-hander. 1 down. Pitch underway. That's fouled to the left side, out of play. Decided tonight I'd park up by the bridge, Ryan.
I got here early and parked out right along the end, out in along the curb.
As long as you can kind of snuggle up against a fence out here, you're safe. But I get very nervous every time a foul ball goes over the pavilion here. The 0-1 pitch on the way. That's inside, 1-1.
Good bend from Archer there. Just a bit too tardy on the break, though.
Outstanding evening here at Athletic Park. 1-1 pitch. That's low. 2-0, 2-1 the count. One down here in the top of the second. Chanhassen has runners on first and second. Carson Hake at second. Tommy Highland at first. The 2-1 delivery swung on, fouled back. Evens the count at 2-2. Archer looks like he's got decent command. Again, nothing overpowering, but...
Yeah, he didn't have a curveball develop until high school started for him. He was a fastball pitcher, with a good changeup mix in there through his youth years, but got to have a curveball if you're going to pitch in high school. Here's one right back to him.
He's going to go to third, get the force out at third, and that's all they're going to get.
Good heads-up play by Archer there. Take the lead runner. Close play at third, excuse me, but Bourne was able to snag it and make the play.
So the fielder's choice. Runners are still at first and second with 2 outs. And digging in is the number 9 batter, Alex Snader. He's the senior left fielder. 2 down. Archer with the stretch. Swung on, and that's going to be foul down the right field line.
Right into that new batting cage that they constructed down there over the offseason.
Well, now you know what all these various raffles go toward. Equipment like that.
Well, they needed it, that's for sure.
Yes, they did. The 0-1 pitch coming from Archer. Swung on, that's a fly ball to right field. Peters is back, camps under it, makes the catch. That's a can of corn. That's 3 down. So for the Chanhassen Storm, that's no runs on 2 hits. No errors. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Athletic Park here in beautiful downtown Chaska. We're literally on the banks of the Minnesota River. It's a little swollen. We can see the river up. They've got pumps stationed along the levee here. But no danger of that tonight here, 80-degree temperatures. And digging in is the third baseman, sophomore Mac Bourne.
There you go,
And
Mac.
he swings that for a solid line drive single up the middle.
Good contact from the sophomore there. Mac got a little bit of playing time last year on this varsity roster. Playing some third base.
He's a good-looking ball player, big kid. Nick Olmscheid digs in. He's got a little Star Wars walk-up music.
It's better than his Adele that he had last week. Let me tell you that
much. That is better. Not much. Bourne's got a modest lead off first as Olmscheid fouls the first pitch back. 0-1 the count. Olmscheid, a hockey player for the Hawks.
Called his name once or twice, both of us.
A couple of times, and there's a swing and a miss.
Swung out of his shoes on that one. That was a little too juicy, I think, just above his head.
Quickly falls to 0-2. The sophomore second baseman.
Bourne takes off. Look at this one.
Shot. That is deep in the gap. That is going to roll to the fence. He's got 2 bags. He's going for 3. The throw down to third. It's going to be close. There, got him. Nice relay by the Chanhassen Storm. Carter Cruzy to TJ Trusso. Threw it to Carson Hake. And they got Nick Olmscheid at third base, but I'll tell you what, he hit that ball a long way.
Head coach third base coach Brandon Arnold went out, did not agree with that call. Neither did Olmscheid. I don't think head coach Craig Bauman liked it either, but there's nothing they're going to do to change it at this point.
Oh, they got him. I know that. So it'll be credited with a double, trying to extend it to a triple, thrown out at third.
Got the run in, though.
Got the run in. 8-6-5 for those of you scoring at home.
He really tattooed that baseball, too. Olmscheid got hold of one last game. He hit it dead center right out to the 390 sign. It was just about 10 feet short. As a sophomore, that kid can really strike the baseball.
Well, and I know that there's some water in the outfield, so that ball deadened as soon as it hit the ground. It didn't. I thought it was going to one-hop the fence. Logan Van Zant, the shortstop junior, digging in. Bases are cleared now, and that first pitch is called for a strike. Yeah, I thought he had him dead to rights over there at third. I know that those guys didn't think so, but I could tell he had it. Curveball. Ooh. Fouled right over the. Was that over the dugout or in the dugout?
Right over the dugout.
Right over the dugout. Look out, kids. No 2 count.
What I was about to say, they've got new protective netting here. They used to have the chicken wire up until this season. They've got new netting here, right. But still nothing over the dugouts where all those kids stand. So I think that one might have gotten to the parking lot, though.
Van Zant fouls that one straight back. 1 ball, 2 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
There you go, Logue.
Junior gets a good base hit off to left field.
Base runners, what you need here.
Base runners is what you need, and that's exactly what Coach Bauman told us before the game, is that he wants his guys to advance just one base at a time. 90 feet. Every 90 feet is very important to the Chaska Hawks. Marcus Peters digs in now. He's the right fielder. He's a senior. Also a very good basketball player. Checking the runner at first base is Garrison. Jake Maus lays the tag on him. He's safe. A lot of these guys are not getting giant leads there at first, but I know the Hawks go for their secondary lead, and that's why they get a snap throw from Highland down to Maus. They do get very big secondary leads. The primary lead is very short, but then they're very active with the.
They're really watching Van Sant over there.
He's probably got some speed.
I was watching Peters in BP. He was really lacing the ball. Got a good swing, just gets a hold of it. Good, solid contact.
That ball clips the outside corner for strike 1.
Good tailing fastball from Garrison.
1-1 the count. 1 down. Here in the bottom of the second. Van Zant at first. Checks on the runner. They got him picked off. A little bit of a pickle, and he's done.
Got him leaning.
Van Zant on a 1-3-4 play. 1-3-4 pickoff. There's 2 outs. Peters now is going to have to start the rally himself. The 8th slot for the Hawks. Digs in, 1-1 count. 2 down here in the bottom of the second. Pitch underway, checks his swing.
Oh!
We're going to give it a called strike.
I don't know about that. Tough one for Peters. Looked like he held off of it.
He did hold off. He did call him
called strike.
It was a swinging strike. He called him for swinging.
Looked like.
Because that was in the batter's box, the left-handed batter's box. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing is a little high.
Highland started to walk away. He thought he went on that one. I think he might have gone on that one further than he did the last one, Greg.
Well, and Highland thought for sure that he had strike 3.
Well, good.
4 steps toward the dugout before before throwing the ball back to Garrison. That one's inside, but he's going to get him. Called strike. All right. Well, the Hawks had a single and a double and another single, but 3 hits, 4 at bat. But I'm afraid that doesn't equate for any runs for the Hawks.
1 run for the Hawks.
1 run for the Hawks.
There you go.
Right.
After 2,
Mac
it's 1-0.
Bourne was there. Mac Bourne. All right, we're back here tonight. Hey, folks, make sure you check out Ryan Paul at Ryan Paul.
Paul 21.
Paul 21 on the Twitters. He'll be commenting on tonight's game and just made a great comment about the back and forth at the student sections.
Top of the 3rd.
Chanhassen is at the top of the order. Carter Cruz, the center fielder, up to bat. Archer's first pitch fouled off. 0-1 count. Curveball high. 1-1. You can't hang that curveball. That thing will get tattooed. The center fielder takes the 1-1. Swings on. It's a dribbler to third base.
Nope.
And I'm afraid
Bourne's not going to get a chance.
Bourne had to eat it. So Cruz gets a leadoff single for the Storm. Chanhassen's star shortstop TJ Trusso digs in, gets the sign from his coach. No outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Trusso 0 for 1 tonight.
Bounced out to the shortstop.
Indeed.
Bach is holding on Cruz. That first pitch high, called the ball. 1-0 the count to Trusso. Trusso's actually committed to Ellsworth College. Swung on, and that's the second baseman.
Roll it up,
They're going
boys.
to shoot for 2.
Yes, sir.
And they get it.
Justin Bach over there. Wonderful, wonderful stretch at first base.
Now he's shown some of his goalie qualities there.
Bach, I'm sure you've heard his name once or twice on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. He's a starting goalie for Chaska High School hockey this year. Also a
football player.
Will be playing in the slot presumably for Chaska in the football season, which
So what's the one thing in common that he has with all three sports?
athleticism.
His jersey.
Well,
one.
that's true.
He's
Is
number
he number
one.
one for hockey?
He's number one for hockey.
I was
as well.
thinking he was number 30, but you're
Nope,
right.
That was
Ben.
That was Ben Urbansis this last
got
year,
me on
senior
that one.
goaltender, co-captain. All right, so stepping in is Cade Plath, the right fielder. First pitch to him is inside and low.
2 away here. Top of the third.
The 6-4-3 twin killing. 2 outs here for Chaska Hawks. That ball was inside. Got away from the catcher, Swenson. 2 balls, no strikes. Archer looks in, comes set. Doesn't pitch from the windup when no men are on. Swung on, hit to the shortstop. Van Zant throws him out at first. 3 up, 3 down, yet there was a hit.
Most certainly was.
6-3 in the scorebook.
After 2.5, still 1-0 Hawks. We'll be right back.
To Athletic Field, it is the Chaska Hawks against the Chanhassen Storm. Chaska leads it here before we go into the bottom of the third, 1-0. Coming up to bat, we got the aforementioned number 1, Justin Bach. I sat with Justin's dad at the Lakeville North game, and I think that, to say the least, they're a little, was a little concerned about Justin's performance at the plate so far.
The thing about this is Justin is a fantastic hitter. Everybody in baseball has their struggles.
You bet they do.
And the problem with Justin right now
Look
is
at the professionals.
He just can't seem to get the barrel to hit the baseball. I mean, he's got a good swing yet still, but you'll see when as the season progresses here that Justin does have a very, very good baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got
swing.
a great swing, but on that one he squared around for a fake bunt, drew in the left side of the infield. The 1-0 count, that almost hit him. 2-0.
Yeah, that tail on Garrison's fastball works in on a right-hander. And
that's going to come in on a guy's hands. Those are tough to battle.
Right.
The 2-0 count. And also inside.
The exact same spot, it looked like.
Might have clipped the inside corner. 2-1 the count, no down here in the bottom of the third. Garrison. That one was over the middle. 2-2. Justin's got to pull the trigger. The 2-2 count. That's outside. Especially when it's a hitter's count. Now it's full. But when it's a hitter's count, you got to look that he's got to come down the middle, and he did. Full count to Bach. That one was inside, but he fouled it off. Count remains full. Both teams have 4 hits on the night. The Hawks are the only ones to get a runner across home plate.
Good pitch.
That was painting the outside corner. Garrison with the called strikeout.
Bach's struggles continue, but let me tell you, Justin Bach, one of the best mental athletes that you will find.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
I told his
especially the
dad,
high
his
school
dad
athlete.
said, we don't know what to do. And I said, keep swinging.
Right, that's what I told him. That's the exact same thing that I told him, too.
Just keep swinging. Because I thought all the cuts that he had were very productive.
Yep.
Just keep swinging. All right, so we're back at the top of the order for the Hawks. Joe Jersak, the senior center fielder, steps in. Swung on and missed. 0-1.
Another one of those big hacks from Jersak that we talked about earlier. You know,
and that's
that home run earlier in the year. It's obviously going to make him. He's a big swinger regardless. But
get a little jacked up for that.
Yep.
He checked his swing on that
tough
one.
pitch to lay off on.
And so the curveball is tailing away from them, obviously, but his fastball's tailing in. So he's got great movement on his pitches. Garrison, that's a fly ball to center field.
Jersak swung up on that one just a little bit. Otherwise, I think he would have sent that ball out into the trees. 2 away.
The uppercut swing, Cruzy hauls it in. 2 down. That all goes up. He hit a ground ball to the second baseman in his first at bat tonight. Little conference on the mound. First baseman
Maz, I believe.
Maz comes over and chats up a little bit, and giving a little strategy on how to pitch Hidalgo. Hidalgo steps in. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Garrison's pitch. Swung on. Vicious cut by Benjamin Hidalgo. It's a good crowd here, I think, as some of those other games let up. The 9th grade team was playing tonight. JV, I believe, was playing. As soon as some of those games got over with, a lot of those people are filtering in.
JV team won their game, I believe, and did I see that 9th grade lost their game? It was a good one by
I believe
Benji.
they did. Hidalgo sends it over the head of the right fielder. Plath is back to the fence to pick it up, bobbles it there. Hidalgo checks into second, though. Great double by Benjamin Hidalgo. That's probably not his name. Benji, though.
Benji got a piece of that one, put it right over the head of Cade Plath out in right field, and using his speed, he was able to get to second base easily. Held up
knew it was over his head the second it hit Benji's bat. So he checks in at second, and Riley Swenson, the catcher, U of M commit. He's now up to the plate. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. We got some pro scouts here at the game.
Not really.
No. We just saw a picture of your dad, I believe, sitting in the championship seats at the Twins game. I'm glad to see someone's going to those games. No balls, 1 strike here to Riley Swenson. When I go home and watch that, I'm going to sit here and watch him the whole game now. As soon as I watch it on DVR tonight. I am one of those sick people who DVRs all the Twins games and watches them at night. That pitch got away from Highland, and Benji's going to check in down at third. So now only 90 feet away is the second run for the Hawks. It's 1-1. That ball was in the dirt, landed about 5 feet in front of probably about a foot in front of the base. Home plate.
1-1 to the catcher.
The senior catcher, switch hitting. That curveball missed inside.
Good looking pitch there.
Tough to lay off those, but you know what? Like we talked about a second ago, you're in a hitter's count. If you don't like the curveball, sitting on the fastball, this is the count to get it. That one was outside. He didn't want it. Did clip the outside corner. 2-2 the count. 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Hidalgo at third. The Hawks would like to push another run across the plate. Garrison the pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line. Strikeout, cancer, and diabetes night here at the Ball Yard. Hopefully they're raising lots of money for those 2 afflictions. Garrison with the pitch. Swung on, it's a pop fly to center field. Racing in is Cruz, makes the play for the third out. So after 3 complete, it's the Hawks 1, Chanhassen 0. Welcome back to Athletic Park. It's Greg Erickson and Ryan Paul here at CHBN. Calling the action here for the Chaska Hawks and the Chanhassen Storm. The first meeting of these two teams here this year. Only the 5th game here for Chaska this year. The 2-2 record. Again, as we had indicated before the game, this is not a conference game. The first matchup between these teams is considered a non-conference game. Jack Archer is still on the mound for the Hawks. So far he's pitching a 4-hitter. That first pitch was called a strike on the outside corner. Batting is Jake Moz, the first baseman.
Yeah, Archer doing pretty well so far. Struggled with the command a little bit. Gave up a couple of solid hits earlier in the contest, but so far nothing to worry about for the left-hander for Chaska.
Not a lot of damage. I think they've got one guy check in at third base, so he's also not pitching a lot of pitches, unlike I think his opponent Garrison. He's probably got quite a fewer pitches than Garrison does. 1-2 the count. That was a foul ball down the right field side. Moz flew out to right field in his last at bat. Peters caught that one. This one's to center field. Under it is Joe Jersak for the first out of the inning. So Moz is 0 for 2. A.J. Pedersen told me this morning that he's excited about the play that Moz has had. He's really happy with his offensive production, so it's nice that the Hawks were able to being able to keep him at bay so far. So now stepping in is Carson Hayek. All right, third time's a charm. Carson got a single his first at bat. Takes a curveball inside for ball 1. One down here in the top of the 4th. The junior third baseman looks at the 1-0, swings on, dribbles it to first base.
Get over.
Bach fields it, throws it to Archer, who's covering first. Pitcher's infield practice paid off on that one.
PFPs, baby, PFPs.
Yes, sir.
2 away.
2 down. Here in the top of the 4th. Chan's catcher steps in. He also got a base hit in the 2nd inning. Senior catcher. Tall kid. Although everybody's tall when you compare him to me. Come on. It's baseball.
You got a chuckle.
Have some fun. Archer's pitch. Low. Inside, ball 1.
You know, Archer really feeds off the atmosphere. If I've noticed the Chaska students tend to be into the game. Archer tends to be into the game, dialed in a little bit more. the situation falls out of Chaska's hands a little bit. That's when, as a lot of us do, Archer tends to struggle. Highland
swung
gets
on,
all
and
the
that's
one.
in the left center gap.
See a ball.
And that's over the fence. Home run. Tommy Highland, senior catcher, hits it over the 355 mark. That one's in the little patch of woods, and his teammates greet him at home plate, and he has tied the game. You know, earlier in the game, earlier in the day, the wind was blowing in, and on that particular at bat, the wind was absolutely calm.
Yeah.
He crushed that one. So Archer gives up the dinger with 2 outs. It's not a great pitch to throw with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, Highland got a good piece of that one too. Center right over the left center wall, right over the 355 mark, as you said. Ties the game, a whole new ball game here.
So now steps in Avery Larson, the second baseman. He's a junior. First pitch to him is down the middle, strike 1. How do you suppose that affects a high school pitcher when he surrenders a home run?
The pitch before, I was talking about how Archer feeds off of the momentum and the atmosphere of the game. Let's hope the Chaska students can fall back on him here, or he can fall back on the Chaska students and his teammates a little bit.
Well, and something like that can really silence a crowd, too,
right,
even further.
Right.
I mean, you know, the lull of the game, the natural lull of any baseball game, you know, our student section isn't really, you know, all that rowdy at the moment, but nothing to really cheer for. But swung on, that's hit to the shortstop. Van Zant throws
that
it to
not
first,
what
and he drew him off the base. Called safe over at first. Bach thought that he might have had him.
You know, for Archer, that's exactly what we didn't want for Jack Archer. He made a good pitch, get a ground ball to the left side, and it's an E6. Now you have a runner on with 2 away after the home run. It's not the situation you want to put Jack Archer in.
Yeah, you got a home run in one at bat, you got an error in the next at bat, you got a runner on, and now the game is tied. You had 2 outs. Make a bad pitch to Highland, and you know, you got to have your infielders pick you up after that, and they just didn't do it that time. This is swung on. Looks like it's going to be a base hit. So Chanhassen, he's going to move on. Hidalgo bobbles it. Play it third, not in time. Both runners move up. So that's going to be a base hit and an error on Hidalgo in left field. And the bad events are starting to mount here a little bit for Jack Archer.
Yeah, it'll be a base hit and an error on Hidalgo, I think, on the advancement.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely clearly checking into second base, and as soon as he saw Hidalgo bobble it, he advanced to third base. Larson advanced, and Colton Schremp checked in at second on that one, and now Alex Snader up to bat, the 9th batter in Chanhassen's rotation.
You're going to notice the Storm going to come up swinging now after the home run, error, and base hit.
You bet. They definitely have a little bit of momentum building here, and Chaska is going to hope that they can get the number 9 hitter.
At this point, it's damage control for Archer, I think.
With 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. No balls, 1 strike. Pitch is low, 1-1. So Snader flew out to the right fielder, Marcus Peters, in his last at-bat. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit to shortstop. He was drawn to second base. 2 runs are going to score here on that base hit, and the number 9 batter comes through with a base hit to score 2 runs, 2 ribs. 2 RBI for Alex Snader. You know, the shortstop was drawn over to try to cover the, to check the runner at second base, and Snader was able to hit that grounder right to the vacant shortstop spot.
Yeah, tough one for Archer. You know, 2 outs. You don't want to give up anything like that. You know, he's giving up 3 runs now, and with 2 outs here, it's not something you want to see out of your pitcher. You know, going now.
3 runs have crossed the plate here in the top of the 4th, and
line
a line drive
that'll end the inning.
Right to Van Zant, and that's the 3rd out of the inning, but not before Chanhassen strikes for 3 runs, a home run, an error, a couple of errors. It's Chanhassen 3, Chaska 1 on the curveball outside. 2-2 evens it out. The count even at 2-2.
Sorry if the audio jumped out on you that quick.
That one went high.
I think we're back in action.
Taken high. Once again, the Chanhassen folks donning beach attire didn't like that call. That one almost hit Bourne inside for ball 4. Hawks have a runner. That's the first walk surrendered tonight by either team, Ryan.
Yeah, and I just want to mention, sorry if we did lose the graphics and the audio there. We had a brief technical bug Looks like we're back at it, though. Hopefully you can hear us and the audio is good.
Coach A.J. Pedersen for the Chanhassen Storms out to chit-chat with his pitcher, bringing in the entire infield. The Hawks had their raffle tonight. They called off all of the raffle winners for all the prizes. The Grand Slam Club would like to thank everybody who participated and bought a raffle ticket. If you had a baseball player show up to your door, or if grandparents, parents purchased tickets from your favorite baseball player. I know my son was able to sell all 20 of his tickets.
Great. Oh, I remember the days.
CHBN coverage of the Chanhassen Storm against the Chaska Hawks here at Athletic Park.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying our first baseball game of the year. Hopefully we'll be able to do a couple more of these this season before we move along to fall and we get some things going with
football.
that.
Football.
That's the plan.
CHBN inaugural football season coming up.
That's the plan.
All right, so digging in with a runner on first is Nick Olmscheid. He tattooed a ball to right center in his first at-bat in the second inning. He was thrown out trying to stretch the double into a triple, but he did get the RBI. The one run that the Hawks currently have swung on and missed. That makes it 1-1 to Olmscheid. Bourne at first. Small lead. Garrison steps off, and actually when he did that,
Bourne got a little jumpy over at first base. Yeah.
Bourne jumped towards second. He's lucky that Garrison didn't wheel around and try to throw over to first. That curveball misses up and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. One down here in the bottom of the fourth. Chanhassen leading 3-1. That's a called strike on the inside corner. Again, Olmscheid tattooed a double in the second inning. That ball nestled at the base of the fence. The Hawks are hoping he can do that again. And runner's going.
Fouled it off.
That's fouled off, and that's going to be out of play. Is that a hit and run, do you suppose? Or
I would have to imagine.
Straight steal?
I would have to imagine it's probably a hit and run given the situation.
Trying to make something happen here. Trying to manufacture some runs with a hit and run. Trying to pull in the middle infielders. The 2-2 count to Olmscheid. Check over to first. Bourne able to get back safely.
Could have gambled on that happening. Throw over after a
This is a big, they've got a lot of foul territory here, and that ball gets to the fence, and you're off to the races.
Yep. There he goes again. Highland was ready for
throwing down.
Let's beat it.
That ball skipped off the turf.
Highland got a good pop out of the crouch, but skipped it in there, and Bourne just too quick for the throw.
Trousseau had to field that one. Actually, I think that was Larson. Larson fielded that one up around his chest and couldn't bring down the tag in time. So that's a stolen base for the Hawks. That's the first stolen base tonight. So first walk, first stolen base. The count is full. There's 1 out. Count full to Nick Olmscheid. The sophomore playing second base tonight. Garrison with the stretch. Looks in. That's popped up. Trousseau's under at the shortstop. Right to him. On the skin of the outfield, makes the catch for 2 down. So pop up for Olmscheid brings up Van Zant. Logan's a junior, playing shortstop tonight. He got a base hit in his first at-bat. They're going to call a balk. They're calling a balk on Jack Garrison. I believe he flinched after he'd come set, worried about the runner at second base, so Bourne is now advanced to third, and Garrison's asking what had happened, and A.J. Pedersen comes out. wants a brief explanation, but you cannot argue a balk. So Van Zant steps in. He's got a runner at third base, 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Garrison's pitch is low. Outside, boy, we could use a little bit more action from the fans down in the Chaska section.
I was gonna say, I was just making a couple text messages down there.
We need some student leaders.
I know. I was thinking I might have to get down there, Greg.
Well, I need you up here in the box, though. Van Zant swings. Evens the count at 1-1. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Chaska is...
Oh, tough one. That's a tough
pitch.
one.
Chaska's threatening, but that's a nasty curveball that Van Zant looked at. I don't think that was the pitch he wanted. I think he's sitting dead red. The 1-2 count. Fastball gets him. Garrison strikes out Van Zant for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 4 complete, it's Chanhassen 3, Chaska Hawks 1. Hey, welcome to Athletic Park. Chanhassen holds a 3-1 lead over Chaska. We're in the top of the 5th inning. The Hawks have made a pitching change. They brought in the junior Caden Freeman.
Yeah, to the best of my recollection, 1 appearance for the junior on the year. He pitched against Benilde, if I'm not mistaken.
Right-hander looks like he's got some pop in his fastball.
Top of the 5th, 7-5 in the hits column. Chaska had committed the only error of the game. That was that error on Logan Van Zant, the shortstop.
We got a couple errors, I thought, but they didn't call that one against...
That one against Hidalgo was not called an error.
Seriously, they're going to call that a triple?
Yeah.
All right, stepping into the batter's box is T.J. Trusso. He's the shortstop for Chanhassen. Freeman looks in. He's going to come from the windup. Comes in and with a fastball and swing and a miss. The 0-1 pitch to Trusso. Swung on, hit shortstop. Van Zant fields it cleanly, throws it over the box, chest high. That's an out. The Hawks throw it around, 1 down. One down here.
Say, I hope everybody, I wanted to mention this in between innings, hope everybody is enjoying new YouTube Live format. I know.
What are the differences about
well,
those
we just
things,
the cube was the cube was on its way out. We were ready to part ways with them. We decided it was a good time to go over to YouTube Live, some more functionality.
Excellent.
With that, we will be able to do a little bit more.
I noticed
you've
been loading up a ton of videos, so if there's any basketball or hockey games,
all of our past games are on YouTube now. You can go to our website, watchchbn.com.
Kate Platt steps in for Chanhassen. He's the right fielder. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Hit a base hit in his first at-bat. Grounded out to the shortstop in his second at-bat. 1 down here. Squibs one foul to the right side. 1 ball, 2 count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Plath. Freeman is challenging these guys right off the bat.
Yep.
He's coming right at them.
Yep.
And I like it when a pitcher pitches from the windup with nobody on base.
Jammed him.
He's going to get a base hit out of the deal. If he had a wooden bat, it'd be broken right now.
Good pitch by Freeman, but Plath fought it off well, just got it over the head of shortstop Logan Van Sant. He's on first base.
He checks into first with 1 down here in the top of the 5th. Jake Maas, the first baseman, now up. Jake has flied out in both of his at-bats, once to right and once to center. Plath has got a small lead there at first base, a little bit bigger than when he had the lefty. That ball was called a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, Plath with a good secondary over there, got off quite a ways, made Riley Swenson check up on him, and let me tell you, Riley Swenson will not be afraid to throw the ball down behind the runner down there at first base.
He's got a great arm.
Indeed he does.
All right, Maas has got an 0-1 count. 1 down here in the 5th. Freeman from the stretch. That ball's outside and low. 1-1, evened up the count. Jake Maas, the senior, was on the roster for the state championship team against Chanhassen. Fouled that one back. 1-2 is the count. Chanhassen student section trying to keep the excitement going.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better night here down at Athletic.
It is about as good as it gets right here. The stretch. The ball's low and outside. Evens the count at 2.
Yep. Yeah, Freeman trying to do whatever he can to get that ball just to catch the bottom half, but
yeah, he might be nibbling a little bit too much with the guy on first base now. He's coming right at the guys. Now he's nibbling a little bit. The 2-2 pitch. Low.
Plath with another good secondary.
That does seem to be the trend, I guess, in high school baseball. Not taking a giant initial lead, but definitely getting a big jump on those secondaries. Like you said, I think Riley Swenson might be. And he's going. Plath is going.
Hit and run.
Swung on, hit and run. That's going to go through the hole created at second base. And that advances the runner from first to third. So the hit and run, A.J. Pedersen put it on, and it worked flawlessly for the Chanhassen Storm.
Well, as a baseball fan in general, you love to see that.
Well, you know what? In the pro game, there's not very many hit and runs that are put on any longer, to be honest.
Especially with all the shifting going on.
So Riley Swenson is giving signals to the infield to tell them what they're going to put on here with the first and third situation.
Mm-hmm.
1 out here in the top of the 5th. The Storm have got Plath at first and Maas at first, and Carson.
Plath at third,
Hake.
Maas at first.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Plath at third, Maas at first.
1 away still for Freeman. Trying to get out of a jam here.
The junior Carson Hake steps in. He's their third baseman. He's got a single tonight. Also dribbled one up to the pitcher. One down. The pitch gets by Swenson. That's going to score another run for Chanhassen. Plath comes in to score. That's going to be a wild pitch. I believe that hit the plate or right in front of the plate.
Yeah, not the way you want to see Chaska headed in this game. They got that early lead, 1-0 in the second, and Chanhassen had the 3 spot back in the 4th, and now they got one here.
Well, I know this makes A.J. Pedersen very happy because, as he had indicated to us in our phone call this morning, Chanhassen had only scored 1 run in the last 4 games between these two teams, so he's thrilled to see the production at this point in time. 4 runs have come across here for Chan so far. And they've got a runner at second base with only 1 down here in the top of the 5th. And Hake's got a base hit tonight, so looks like Freeman's losing the command a little bit. That one was outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
As a young varsity pitcher, this is only Freeman's second varsity outing. You want to make sure you can control that command. If you give him pitches to hit, your field can make plays behind you. But if you can't get it in the strike zone, that's what Fred Baumann, Chaska's head coach, said earlier.
He'd prefer that we put the ball in play, and that ball's hit to the right field. Peters is under it. He makes the catch, and Chanhassen's tagging.
Okay, Maw's tagging from second with speed.
Maw's got the third base easily on that play. So that's a sac fly for Carson Hake.
2 away.
Oh, the hamburgers. We have no time between innings, Ryan. They go so quick around here.
Yeah,
it's not like the program where you got 20 minutes to go.
The first night of hamburgers here down at Athletic tonight.
Boy, they do a good
fresh
job
off
on
the grill.
those, too.
Boy, those are good.
All my friends down there on the grill.
Oh, there's a good pitch from Freeman. Looked like it caught the outside part of the plate, but
Yep. It's called the ball, though, so it's 1-0. Tommy Hyland, the catcher for Chanhassen, is up to the plate.
that last pitch from Freeman is one that both as a pitcher and a catcher that you want to get calls on that exact pitch, because if you can locate the ball there, that's a tough pitch to hit. And
All night long, you'd live there, right?
Yep.
But instead, he felt he had to get more of the plate. That's dead center. That's over the
Second
fence
one of the night
right
for Tommy
next.
Hyland.
That's a 2-run home run for Tommy Hyland. That's the second home run given up by the Chaska pitchers tonight.
Both of them to Hyland.
Both of them to Hyland. That kid's swinging the bat well. That was straight away center field. Landed right to the left of the flags out there at 390 feet. Chanhassen's got 3 again this inning. They lead this one 6-1.
Yeah, Chaska starting to let this one slip away a little bit here in the 5th. Not what you want to see if you're the Chaska pitching department. A 6-1 lead, and let me tell you, almost, if I'm not mistaken, all 6 of those Chanhassen runs have been scored with 2 outs.
Ooh.
Maybe not this inning, but last inning with Archer.
There was. Yep, absolutely.
Archer gave up the home run and that double, 2 outs.
There were 2 outs.
That's one thing that as a head coach that will make you blow your mind off.
Absolutely.
2 out runs.
Absolutely, and I think that Freeman wasn't getting that outside pitch, and so he felt he had to get a little bit more of the plate. And when he did, Hyland made him pay. Well, now up to bat is Avery Larson. He's the second baseman for the Storm. The 0-2 pitch is popped foul out of play.
Yeah, Tommy Hyland seeing the ball like a beach ball tonight. He put that one right over the 390 mark in center field. I mean, he couldn't hit that ball any further.
Well, he's 3 for 3. He got a base hit in his first at bat. Now he's got 2 home runs to back that up. All right, Avery Larson, he's flied out the center and got on an error. Swings, hits to the third baseman. Bourne throws it over to Bach for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before Tommy Hyland hits a 2-run home run. Chanhassen scores 3 runs to make it Chanhassen Storm 6, Chaska Hawks 1 on the CHBN Chaska Hawks.
Well, after 4.5, it's 6-1. Chanhassen Storm on top of Chaska. Not something that the Hawks wanted to see. The pitching staff for the Hawks this evening really struggling this evening, Greg. 2 home runs to Tommy Highland. They gave up a 2 RBI double, or 2 RBI triple as it was scored hypothetically in the book. But
yeah, both pitchers have given up 3 runs. Archer was in for 4 innings, gave up the home run to Highland, and not great sterling defense behind him. And then Freeman came in. Caden Freeman, the junior, came in and surrendered 3 as well. So Chaska's got their workout cut out for him, and Marcus Peters steps in. He lines one, but it's caught an Adam ball. They're going to call him out even though he dropped the ball. It's going to call a transfer. So Peters lines to Avery Larson over at second base.
Good swing by Peters, put good contact on it. Hit it right where Avery Larson was standing and ready to catch it.
So Peters is 0-2, and now Bach steps up. He struck out looking in the 3rd inning. They need some of these guys who haven't really swung the bat well yet get going. I mean, that was called a strike. Bach needs to maybe take the mentality that same as maybe Jersak takes when he's up at the plate. Get swinging, because there's another called strike.
Yeah,
I noticed that in the other games as well.
The first 2 pitches of this at bat have not been great hitters' pitches by any stretch.
By no means.
But still down 6-1, you've got to go up swinging.
With the mentality that you're gonna need to start swinging the bat.
Of course, after Peters lines off first pitch, it's tough to go up there and swing right away. You want to prolong the inning, but from a baseball standpoint, but still, you got to make sure that you're doing your job as a hitter, because you don't have much time left here in this game. You only have
his name is Justin Bach. Left. It's not Joe Maurer. So, 0-2 count. So Justin, the junior, 0-2 count, swings and misses. That's a strikeout. Strikeout for Garrison. That's his 6th strikeout of the night.
Yeah, Garrison pitching, could be throwing the ball much better right now. He's fell into a little trouble early in the middle innings there, but, after the 3rd, 4th inning got through, he's really been lights out.
Well, and he's settled in, and, his offense have given him quite a cushion now to work with, and you can tell he's quite confident. He just threw a breaking ball strike to Jersak there, who swung and missed. You had indicated that Jersak might be a Luther College commit.
Yeah, if my memory serves correct, that is where Jersak is headed after high school.
He took that one low for ball 1. The senior got a single his first at bat, flew out to center field in the 3rd inning, so he's 1 for 2. That ball's inside.
That's a tough pitch. Justin Bach looked at that one for a strike last at bat, but I think Jersak gave it a little bit of a hold up on the swing, maybe in the umpire's eye.
Yeah, just didn't catch the plate. The 2-1 pitch, curveball.
Ooh, that was
called
high.
For a strike. High and outside, but called a strike regardless. And when you're throwing a great curveball, the umpire's going to assume it caught some of the plate.
Right.
So when your curveball bites like that, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Quick inning.
Fastball on the outside. Highland squeezes it.
7 Ks on the night for Garrison.
7 Ks on the night. That's the end of. That's the top.
End of the 5th.
End of the 5th inning, and the score on here on CHBN Chaska Hawk Broadcast Network: Chanhassen Storm 6, Chaska Hawks 1. right, welcome back to Athletic Field. Hey, the Chanhassen Storm, after they were able to get 3 up, 3 down in that half inning, they had quite the meeting, quite the celebration out in front of their dugout at the end of that half. They know that
half inning. Sure, I'll give you that.
All right.
Say it's spring sports season.
No, half inning. That's what I meant.
Sure.
No, it is. Not half time.
All right,
I don't do basketball.
All right.
Freeman's still out there to pitch for the Hawks after surrendering 3 runs in that last inning. Bounces one off the plate. That one skips back to the netting. Brand new netting here at the athletic park. I am glad to see that. I was sick and tired of that chicken wire. You saw
it did make for good broadcast, so it really didn't get in the way. Yeah,
and there was a dent in the chicken wire from every single foul ball that hit it. So.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, 2 balls, no strikes. Colton Shrimp, the DH, is up to bat. He pops one, lifts one to center field. Jersack's under it, gathers it in. That's a can of corn. Brian, do you know what the term can of corn? Do you know where that comes from?
You've explained this to me.
I have explained it to you. Do you remember it?
You go ahead.
I lost my pen. Do you remember?
You're trying to find your pen.
I have my pen. Can of corn. Back in the day.
You've been explaining this one to me for years, Greg.
The early 20th century here in America, our grocery stores were pretty small compared to the ones that they are today.
Peter's going to come after this one and make the catch.
Snyder hit it to Peters, so we have a fly ball to center, fly ball to right. I better get done with this story before we.
Come on now.
Hopefully, maybe this will help hasten the pace of the inning. So these small grocery stores, if you wanted a can of corn, the grocer would go over to the shelf and he'd use a stick and he'd knock the can of corn off the top shelf. It was way too high for the shopper.
Let's turn around and let you show these people what you're talking about while they have the meeting out there.
So the stick, you'd knock the can of corn off, and then what you do, you would catch the can of corn in your apron like this, right? And so that's a can of corn. That's what it comes from. So that's the wonderful fabric that is baseball.
Well, there's our view from the press box, as you can see at Athletic Park, where there was a brief meeting at third base with 2 away here.
And we're at the top of the order here for Chanhassen. Carter Cruz at the plate. He's 1 for 3. Archer's starting to pitch a lot. Freeman.
Yep.
Freeman's starting to pitch. He's starting to. In this inning, he's going right at these guys again.
Yep.
So as soon as he gets in a little trouble, then he starts nibbling. So far, all 3 batters he's faced, he's going right at them. That was inside.
Good pitch though. They've been getting. It might have been a little low, but they've been getting. They got that call last inning.
It just must not be. And from where we're sitting, we don't have the. I can see the outside of the plate. I can't see the inside.
Tapper
beats it into the ground. Van Zant throwing it over. Bach makes the catch, but it's not in time.
Cruz trips again after hitting first base. The second time tonight he's fallen down after hitting first base.
He's not super graceful, but doesn't realize that it's not one of those flat orange plastic bases anymore. You're in the bigs now, kid.
You're not playing in the backyard.
I believe they're going to give him a base hit on that one, sure.
Yeah, I beat it out.
Beat that one out. Van Zant tried to throw the ball and use the turf to get a good bounce over to Bach, but was unable to get the out. So Freeman's now working to TJ Trusso, the shortstop for Chanhassen. Takes one inside, ball 1.
Now, I'm getting word from my grandpa Frank watching from Chicago, Illinois, that it's actually technically a run and hit, not a hit and run, because you're running.
Oh, sure. So the other one's a delayed, I suppose, right?
Sure.
And I know Grandpa.
Yep.
And he's probably dead right.
Yeah,
but
most certainly.
They do call it a hit and run.
It's also a play-action run, not a play-action pass.
Play.
Let me tell you that one.
I think he's splitting some hairs. And, checking our StatCast here, is he the only one watching tonight?
No.
No.
I think him and my mom.
Him and your mom. Megan, hello. Good to see you.
Yeah. Let's see what we got.
Glad I could be here tonight with Ryan Paul, one of my best friends. I have a junior as a best friend. Strange stuff. All right, well, Carter Cruz is on first base. He reached on a single, infield single.
I believe that's third base coach Ross Van Houten, my middle school science teacher, over there at third base giving
Really?
signs to Chanhassen.
And if we talk to him
My
after the
eyesight
game, will he
serves me
tell us
well.
he didn't learn a darn thing?
Yeah, maybe we won't go there.
Ground ball to
That one
third
got
baseman,
right over
skips
Matt
past him. Right over Bourne's
I'm
glove.
gonna throw him out at third though. Oh,
Hidalgo tries to throw it to third base. Runner advanced. The throw was not in time, and that allowed Trusso to take second. So it's a base hit, gains second on the throw. So the Storm have got something cooking here. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
yeah, tough one for Bourne there. Tried to body it up like a goaltender, but not much you can do with that infield grass.
Yeah, and his
Fresh.
name, isn't Justin Bach.
Right. Here's Plath.
So that's the sophomore down there at third. All right, Plath up to bat now. Plath is 2 for 3. Couple of base hits tonight. There's 2 down here. The Hawks are looking to end this half inning.
Once again, trying to limit the damage with 2 outs. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. They need to limit the runs scored here.
You bet they do. Yeah, they've only got a couple innings to work with here, so they need to hold Chanhassen. Can't afford another crooked number up on the board. Plath steps out. Freeman had to come off the rubber. Is set. 1-1 is the count. Pitch on the way. Lined into left field.
It's going to score 2.
That's going to score 2. Hidalgo's throw. It's cut off. Very productive base hit for Cade Plath. He's 3 for 4. 2 RBIs on that one. And it looks like Bauman's making the trip to the mound, and he's made the call to the bullpen, looking for the left-hander to come in.
So we're going to see Tom Reinitz coming in from the pen here in relief for Chaska.
All right, Tom Reinitz. He's a sophomore.
We're going to take a quick break here from Athletic Park. Chanhassen whooping Chaska 8-1 with 2 away in the 6th.
All right, back at Athletic Park. It's a rout here tonight. But I hope you stay with us because you got nothing else to watch. There's nothing on TV tonight.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. Just us, Greg.
Just us. Well, I know at least Grandpa Frank and Megan. They will be. They'll still be with us. They'll stick with us tonight.
Well, Tom Reinitz, a sophomore, onto the bump for Chaska here in the 6th inning to try to end this 6th inning. And Chaska held Chanhassen scoreless through 3. Then they got a 3-3 and a 2 opened up on them here in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively.
Yeah, that's a lot of crooked numbers. You don't want to see crookedness.
Chaska's only run coming across in the 2nd inning.
There's 2 outs, all with 2 outs.
That is true. All
once again.
2 outs. Yep.
Once again. I mean, Chanhassen had 2 pop fly outs at the beginning of the inning. So now Jake Miles steps into the batter's box. He's 0 for 2. Did draw a walk in his last at-bat. Flew out in his other 2 previous at-bats. Plath once again on first base.
Yeah, Chaska's command. You know, whenever the problem is with Chaska this evening, they've missed some pitches, but it hasn't really come back to bite them. The problem is those defensive errors, and then the pitches that they are hanging in. They're hanging curveballs, fastballs left up. Chanhassen's just able to capitalize off of those and move runners around.
Yeah, they're definitely swinging the bats tonight. Two balls, no strikes on Maz, the first baseman. Now it's 3-0. Reinitz a left-hander, holding Plath close to first. The 3-0 count. Taking all the way and takes the walk.
Well, now that we've got a minute, we've just got a text that Grandpa Charlie is also watching from
Excellent.
Florida.
We have 3 people.
3.
Nationwide. All right. Charlie, Frank, and Megan. My 3 favorite people.
Hake steps in. Highland on deck. The Chan catcher on deck has 2 home runs tonight. Just heard someone yell, the students yell from the stands, he's got $20 out of the wallet if he can hit a third. Ryan, it's 5 balls in a row coming out of the pen.
Yeah, he falls 1-0 to Hake. Junior third baseman up to the bat. He's 1 for 2. Had a sac fly in the 5th. The 1-2 pitch inside. I'm sorry, the 1-0 pitch. Now it's 2-0. And we've got
There we go.
Visit to the mound.
Well, since we've got a minute, Danny Johnson, a CHBN cameraman in basketball season, sick in bed, wants a shout out. So Danny,
does he? Only
yeah.
people who are sick in bed.
At this point,
we have grandparents.
Send us a text,
sick in
people.
bed.
We've still got at least 2 half innings to go.
Hey, the
Or
other
3
thing
half
too
innings
is
to
hit
go.
me up at Greg Tweet.
There you go. You got me at RyPaul21 and Greg at Greg Tweet.
I think I got that address when Twitter was in its infancy. I think it had been around for 4 weeks. I didn't know what people would be doing. I thought they'd come up with funny names and everything. I just said Greg Tweet. I've had it ever since. You probably weren't even born when Twitter came out.
I think
right?
I got my Twitter in 2013.
Okay.
Very controversial with my parents at the time.
Oh, I'm sure. But you've used it for great things. All right, Chanhassen has runners on first and second. Tom Reinitz, the left-hander for Chaska, throws the ball. It is now 3-0. They left him in. Bauman left him in.
Yeah, I just wanted to go out there, calm him down a little bit. He's a sophomore, doesn't have much varsity experience at all.
There's
Can't
another
find the
4-pitch
zone.
walk.
Yeah, so we got
Once again, all this with 2 outs. Bases are juiced. And guess who's coming up to bat? It's Tommy Highland.
Tommy Highland, the big swinger. 2 home runs tonight for the Chan catcher wearing number 4. He steps in.
I might,
students
even
on
though
their
it would
feet.
walk in a run, I'm going to consider putting him on. Why don't we just give him 4? I'm just kidding. All right.
Reinitz got to give him a pitch to hit first.
Yeah, that was his 9th straight ball. The crowd's starting to thin out a little bit. That ball's outside. Runs the count to 2-0.
Yeah,
so again, 2 outs.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. 2 outs. Chaska cannot limit the damage here in this ball game.
Well, this is where they need to limit it right here. Comes right at him.
Whew. That was the one for Highland.
There.
That was the one for Highland to take, I think.
Well, and if it was 3-0, he would have been taken. I'm surprised he was taken on that one.
Yeah,
2-1. Swung on. That's dribbled up.
That's going
the
to stay
line.
fair. No play for Reinitz, though. Yeah, it's a tough one for the pitcher. Bourne was playing deep at third. Reinitz had to come all the way. There's a dribbler. So Highland gets an RBI despite hitting the ball about 15 feet into the field.
And, you know, you got these guys who have seen 2 balls go over the fence, and so they think this kid's going to tomahawk one, and
But another 2-out RBI for Chanhassen.
before you know it, all he does is dribble it up the third base line. So like you said, an RBI for Highland.
We go down to the bullpen, check on Noah Miller down there for Chaska, warming up. Reinitz came in with 2 outs, is yet to record an out.
Avery Larson up to bat now for the Storm. He's the second baseman. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Reached on an error in the 4th. Outside, 2-0. Bases juiced here for the Storm. The junior trying to advance, trying to get some more runs up on the board. 3 runs scored so far this inning.
Go.
So that's 3 innings in a row with 3 runs.
Yeah, after a scoreless.
And all 3 after two outs.
Yep.
Tally.
That's going to be the story when you read it in the Chaska and Chaska Herald and Chanhassen Villager tomorrow by Eric Krauscher.
I haven't seen him out here yet.
I saw him down
Did
there
you?
earlier. Yeah,
Right.
He was down there eating his burger. You know, we had some
How
Twitter
many?
exchange
How
about it.
many
Oh,
did-
I don't know. I mean, they're good burgers. So
Oh, they're very good. I could do another 4.
I saw Gibbons was down there doing the grill.
Gibby.
Good memories with him on the football field.
Yeah, you and I were coaching youth football with. All right, so the runners are going to be moving on this pitch. It's a full count, 2 down. Bases are juiced. All 3 of them are going to get a running head start. Reinitz is not going from the windup.
Struck
Swung
him out.
on and missed.
That'll wait.
That's 3 outs. They batted 9. So after
5.5.
5.5, it's the Chanhassen Storm 9, Chaska Hawks 1. We ready? All right, we're on the air here at Athletic Park. Beautiful night. The stars are out.
You couldn't have asked for a better evening. Weather-wise, you know, it was a little
Yeah.
cloudy and maybe a little rainy earlier in the day, but let me tell you,
It was pretty windy, too, but now
Oh,
there's
yeah,
not
it
a
was,
breath of wind out here.
I mean, it is just a phenomenal night for baseball. Picture perfect.
Speaking of pitcher perfect, looks like we have a new pitcher for Chanhassen. Are you allowed to wear your gloves on the brim? Okay, there. Okay. So I'm sorry. It's not a pitching change. Third baseman is over there warming the mound up. All right, so Benji Hidalgo stepping in to try to make something happen for the Hawks here in the bottom of the 6th. Takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count to him. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2.
Yeah, Benji just trying to get the ball on the bat here. Anything he can do, a leadoff hitter.
Well, he had a double
For
in
his
his last
second,
at-bat.
he
He's
didn't
1 for 2.
tonight, but
He had a very nice double in that last at-bat. That was good to see. This is the hardest I think I've ever seen him hit a ball.
Good
Outside.
pitch from Garrison. Wow.
He wanted that one.
He reared back on that one. That had some good pop in the glove of Highland just
It
outside,
definitely
though.
had some pop. So Hidalgo stays alive at 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fouled up the first base line.
Right into the hands of Eric Olson. First base pitching coach for Chaska.
Fields it cleanly.
Spanish teacher over at the Waconia district.
Is that right? Coaching third for the Hawks is one of my neighbors,
Brandon Arnold.
Brandon Arnold. Former Chanhassen Storm.
Current Chanhassen Redbird.
That's correct.
Been to a couple of those games.
Chanhassen stuff. And the Chan crowd has given Hidalgo the business as they're marching him toward the dugout after striking out.
Yeah, Garrison is dealing, in a word.
You bet he is. And he really had his confidence boosted when his team started scoring some runs.
Yep, I believe that. Yeah, you look at the line score, and you got one run in the second inning, but after that it was all Chanhassen.
So now Riley Swenson steps in. Curveball. Taken low for a ball.
Just across the 9 o'clock hour here at Chaska, Minnesota. We've been on the air for just over 2 hours. Had a long game on opening night during the home opener.
Yeah, I remember seeing your
3-hour.
Is that a 14-inning job?
No, that was a 7-inning job.
It was, okay. I'm thinking of a different game then.
It was a good game, but the fun game just seemed to go on for forever. Swenson's going to ding a car behind us.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark.
Boink.
Swenson 0 for 2 so far on the night. Struck out, flew out to center field. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch on the way. Outside. Low. 3-1. At some point, Garrison's adrenaline has got to be coming down.
And he's got to be up on the pitch count, too.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure
true.
at this point they're not worried about rest.
At the beginning of the game, we really were starting the Hawks
Yeah.
were piling up pitches, fouling a lot of them off, but
Highland
he's
got
had some pretty efficient innings. Frankly, he's not ever had more than four batters in any half inning, and the last two is at 3 up, 3 down.
Highland's getting crossed up here. I don't know if he's not on the same page as Garrison or what, but he got
Can't imagine
crossed
this
up
late
on
in
those
the game,
last 2
but
pitches, but maybe just getting a little lazy.
looks that way. So
Here's Chris Johnson. I want you to take a listen to his walk-up.
yeah, little
Monday Night
NFL.
Baseball? Monday Night Football? I don't know. You tell
Monday
me.
Night Football. I know Monday Night. Yeah,
Dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
dun.
That's Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
I would sing that as a child. Howard Cosell.
Double play ball.
Double play ball.
There it is.
Chanhassen converts the double play. 4-6-3. And that also maintains a streak for facing the minimum here in the last 3 innings.
After 6 complete, Chan 9, the Hawks only 1. We'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Noah Miller's taking the hill for the Chaska Hawks. He's a senior right-hander. Hoping to stop the bleeding, try to prevent another 3 spot. Last 3 innings, Chanhassen has scored 3 runs. They lead it 9-1. I think Bauman and his entire staff would like to just stop the bleeding at this point.
Yeah.
Try to get try to get their confidence back a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, a 9-1 ball game, not much left in the tank, I don't think, for Chaska. You're always going to fight till the end, especially if you're on this Chaska team. But
well, you just need to set a tone because, frankly, they've got a lot of games coming up here.
Right.
With the shortened season that we've had.
And the fact that this game doesn't count towards the conference is a plus for Chaska in a way. I mean, you never want to say stuff like that.
Colton Shrimp steps in. He's the DH for Chanhassen. Pitch is called a strike.
Yeah, Miller, senior this year, didn't pick up pitching primarily until this season. He worked in the offseason. He was been an outfielder for a while and worked on his pitching in the offseason. And, it's always good. You need arms, especially if you're in a situation like Craig Bauman is with this Chaska team. You need arms to be able to pitch, and you don't want to get into jams where you run out of pitching.
Well, he's ahead of the count 2-0-2. Swung on that ball is going to find the fair. Just hit the line. Hidalgo gets it in quickly, but Shrimp, the DH, gets a double. That was hugging the line, slicing, but stayed fair. Snyder up the bat now. He's 1 for 3. He's got 2 RBI. He flew out to the right fielder twice. Miller's pitch off to right field again. That one falls in for a base hit. And Shrimp's going to check in at third base.
Yeah, Miller's hitting the zone. They're just putting the bat on the ball, and
they're swinging well tonight.
I'd prefer to see that than Caden Freeman gave it his all out there last inning, but he just couldn't find the zone. That happens for everybody that ever takes a mound, but. It's good when you're putting the ball in the zone. You're at least making them hit it. You got people out there that you got 8 behind or 7 behind you that can make the plays.
All right, we're so the back at the top of the order. Carter Cruz is up to bat. This is his 5th at bat tonight. He's 2 for 4. Chanhassen, center fielder. Runners at the corners, first and third. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on. I think that got a piece of our plate umpire, John Mosberg.
Right off the shoulder pad, I think.
He's all right.
Not the first time that's happened, I don't think.
These guys take a beating sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the 1-1 pitch.
Bunt. Going
Squared
for
the
a
bunt,
squeeze.
fouled it back. That was a safety squeeze.
Safety squeeze, yep. You got it.
I think AJ, you know what? I don't mind that. They're just practicing some things.
Yep.
This game is over. They're just practicing some things, and it's not to show the Hawks up by any means. It's just to work some kinks out, get some things going.
Wouldn't be surprised if you see a runner on first take off.
That's swung on. It's a line drive. That's right at Peters. Had to range back a little
Shrimp
bit.
tag, though, and they'll get the run in, make it a 10-1 ball game.
So sack fly for Cruz.
One away.
1 down. Snyder remained at first. The shortstop, T.J. Trousseau, is up. 1 out. 1 run across so far in the 7th. That pitch was inside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. I have no idea what's going on in the stands.
They're trying to figure out who's. Chan students are wondering who's pitching. They don't have a lineup sheet.
Oh. They do hand them out at the beginning. In fact, I think they just put a stack of them on the...
Yeah. Well, in the 7th inning, thanks. They're cheering him on, I think.
Well, this is the 4th pitcher for Chaska tonight, so...
That was a good pitch. Good swing and miss.
Yeah, that one had some heat. A little bit up in the zone. Swung under it.
Yeah, tough night coming out here on a Monday for Chaska. After a big win over Lakeville on Saturday, they had a couple big wins last week. It's as tough. Chanhassen, not exactly a terrible team. A team that Chaska probably will be able to beat down the stretch, I'd imagine, be able to compete with a little bit better than they did tonight.
Well, I mean, they had a split with St. Louis Park last week, for example, in a doubleheader,
right.
and St. Louis Park is not known as a perennial outstanding team.
Yep.
But night-to-night pitching matchups, things like that, that's what matters.
Yep.
That's what decides ball games.
Yeah, and I mean, Archer didn't exactly.
Trusso drills one to the gap, but Benji Hidalgo's there.
As I was saying, I mean, Archer didn't pitch horribly to start out the game. He gave up. He didn't actually give up. Did he give up three? And he gave up 3 in the 4th inning. Am I correct
not
on
until
that?
the 4th inning,
and then
really only gave up 3 hits in the first 3 innings.
And then the bullpen couldn't really back him up though. But that's what you want out of a starter, especially in a game like this. You go 3-4 strong innings. Once you start to lose a little bit of it, you got to have the bullpen be able to back you up there.
And they
Chaska could not able to do that
true.
tonight.
Well, Plath steps in for the 5th time tonight.
Miller looking a little dejected out there.
He's 3 for 4. Pitch was inside, got by Riley, made its way to the backstop. So Snyder makes it down to the 2nd on the wild pitch.
Yeah, Chaska's going to have one more shot here tonight.
At the bottom of the 9th, and I think
bottom of the 7th in our terms.
Yes.
Sorry,
my fault. But I think the coaching staff would like to see the Hawks get some hits.
Plath gets a hold of this, but it's right at Benji Hidalgo, and that'll do the inning.
Ball.
That'll end the inning.
Benji's able to make a couple of catches there to last 2 outs of the inning. So
not before Chan tacks on one more. It's 10-1 after 6.5. We got the final frame when we return from Athletic.
all right, welcome back to Athletic Field. It's the bottom of the 7th. The Hawks have one more at bat here to try to put a dent into this 1-10 lead. Mac Bourne is up to bat, sophomore third baseman.
Yeah, final chance for the Hawks here. Mac Bourne going to try to get something going here for Craig Bauman and his staff and teammates.
Mac's 1 for 1 tonight. Base hit and a walk. First pitch. Chan's got a new pitcher, Tommy Thompson. He's a senior.
We forgot to mention that.
Right-handed
on
senior.
The close. Started a game against Chaska last year. Did Thompson.
Swing and miss by Mac Bourne. 1-1.
Yeah, the crowd definitely swindling here. Not a whole lot left on either side. Yep. Good pitch from Thompson. Oh, goodness.
2-1 the count. I think these insiders, you and I just can't see that play.
Yeah, it's
must
probably
be missing.
Our vantage point.
And we're about 6 feet cocked to the right.
This Plath with speed coming in. Got it.
So Mac Bourne flies out to the right fielder, Plath, for the first out of the half inning. And once again, we got the Darth Vader music. What would your walk-up song be?
Yeah, I've thought about that before. I don't know.
Come on.
I've thought about it. I think I'd maybe go something country.
Oh, of course
I might
you would.
go, well, hey, take it easy.
Why not? take the boy out of the country.
Oh, there you go, Nick.
Nick Olmscheid
Good
laces
piece.
one to the center fielder, but he's there. It's an atom ball. Olmscheid has hit the ball twice very hard tonight.
Yeah,
I think I would do the bagpipe solo from AC/DC.
there you go.
Really loving that as a rock and roll instrument, the bagpipes.
Yeah. Oh, here's Van Zandt.
2 down for the Hawks. Van Zandt steps in. He's 1 for 2.
Thompson's working quickly, Greg. He wants to get this one over with.
And I don't blame him. He's got a homework to do tonight or something.
Yeah.
Van Zandt
Just across the 2-hour mark in this ballgame.
is 1 for 2. But he
That'll keep it alive.
strokes a base hit into left field.
Marcus Peters.
Peters he's 0 for 2 tonight. Lined to the second baseman in the 5th inning and struck out in the 2nd looking. There's 2 outs for Marcus. Was he a point guard or a shooting guard?
Point guard.
Point guard.
Probably give him a shooting guard. He's a basketball
He had
player.
a great season, don't you think?
Yeah. Great season. I mean, from all the seniors on that Chaska basketball team.
I mean, this
It was
kid
fun.
can hit the 3 ball. Like,
Yeah, they all
there's
can.
no
Let me
tomorrow.
tell you. You've also got Andrew Fix, who's a starting pitcher
You
for
bet.
Chaska. We'll probably see him in Chaska's next outing.
Thompson with the
Pitch.
stretch. Called strike
Bender in there.
at the knees. 1-1 to Peters. Van Zandt getting a small lead off of first, but a good secondary. Tries to break in the curveball. Doesn't quite break. Comes in right over Peters' hands for ball 2. 21. 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. This one's almost over.
Logan Van Zandt getting a big lead over there on
He's-
first. Yeah, nobody's holding him on at
Nobody's
this point.
not getting held on, so
Yep.
I know
Yeah, I
that
don't think they'll go
Tommy
back on
Hyland
him.
with the night he's having the night, he'd love to throw down there, but nobody's down there.
Yeah.
Nobody's holding him on. Moz is filling a gap. Peters hits a curveball, pops it up. The left fielder, Alex Snader, hauls it in, and that's the end of the game. No runs, 1 hit, no errors in the bottom of the 7th. And the Chanhassen Storm have taken this one
Yeah,
in a laugher.
Game 1 of the season series, not a conference game tonight, doesn't go down to the conference standings, but a 15-hit explosion from the Chanhassen Storm takes down Chaska 10-1. Tommy Hyland, going to be your first star of the game, Greg, in hockey terms. 2 home runs and a wonderful night at the plate.
Yeah, and Jack Garrison's going to get the win on this one, and he pitched great. So,
Yeah, so final takeaways here from Athletic Park tonight before we go away. Tommy Hyland, 2 home runs on the night. Jack Archer takes the loss, but did not pitch horribly. Jack Garrison, though, lights out for Chanhassen.
you bet. You bet. Anyway, great bats. The Chanhassen Storm were swinging, and the Chanhassen Storm pitchers were able to stifle the Chaska Hawks tonight. But they have another one coming up in a few weeks.
Indeed they do. We'll hopefully join you for that one here back on the Lens and Chevrolet Buick Chaska Hawks broadcast network. I'm Ryan Paul. That's Greg Erickson. The Hawks fall this evening. Lots of fun tonight from Athletic Park despite Chaska falling. Thanks to Alex Perone for the camera duties tonight. Max Hannon downstairs with the photos. The Hawks fall tonight 10-1 to Chanhassen. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.